It's Monday Maker. How we doing? It's 4 p.m. This is our new time slot. Well, it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. And that is our new time slot for our Maker Monday Maker, whichever one you like the most. There's Miss Jane. Hey Jane. Jane, how's the audio? Do I need to do a little wiggle? I bought some canned air and gave it a good spray today inside the little, it is snowing, inside the little connector for my microphone. I'm hoping that it worked out okay and that it fixed everything. It was kind of gross and down in that little hole. Hi, wiggle, wiggle. All right, giving it a wiggle, wiggle. All right, how we doing now? Is that any better? Let me know. I hate that the canned air didn't work. I'll give it another shot here in a little bit and let you know. Wiggle. Yeah, we'll give it a second. So yeah, Kathy mentioned it is snowing. It is snowing here. It has been raining. Like, the weather is disgusting outside, to be completely honest with you. Like, I wish that her saying that it's snowing meant that it was like this beautiful blanket of snow. It is totally not. It's been raining and it's just like soggy and gross. And now it's turned into snow, and it's not even a pretty snow. I mean, it's pretty coming from the sky, but it just makes a mushy mess. Well, now I messed it up again. I hope that it's snowing here too, Jane. It's just not the prettiest snow. I think you might have a loose wire in there. I got a lot of those. Good here. Wiggle worked. Yay! I hope I didn't mess it up by wiggling with it more. Just can't stop myself. All right, so yay, everybody's showing up. I was a little worried that maybe you guys had forgotten that we had changed our time for our Mondays from our original 7 p.m. to our 4 p.m. time slot. That's Eastern. Part of the reason that we moved it is because, I don't know, you guys, our past Monday Facebook Lives have been just a constant battle with internet connectivity, and Facebook has just been kicking us out and things have been freezing. So everybody cross your fingers that this new time slot is going to work out and we're not going to have any problems. I don't foresee that we will, since it is a little bit earlier in the day, but you never know. I mean, I just don't tend to have the best luck on Mondays in general. So, snowing all day in Middle Tennessee. He loved to see me wiggle. That's so funny. Oh gosh. Is Joan here? I didn't see Joan. Hi Joan, if you're here. Hello, my friend. Hi Deborah. Hi Penny. Hi Debbie. How is everybody doing? So you guys, it's here. Did you know it? It's here. Destination North Pole is happening this week. Yes. We've waited and waited since summer, and it is finally here. Hi, Susie. How are you? Forget me? Nah. How could you forget me? Oh, this is the same time as Soft Flex. Oh, that's not good. Okay, because we're friends with the Soft Flex people, and we certainly don't want to, Ginger, we certainly don't want to go over the top of them. I wasn't aware of that. So we may have to adjust it a little bit. I definitely don't want to go over any of our beady friends out there who already have Facebook Lives that are set in stone. But we'll stick with it for right now and see what happens. So as I was saying, it is Destination North Pole week. And so for those of you who have signed up for Destination North Pole, all of the festivities begin this Wednesday. It's a little confusing because I think this first week it's Wednesdays, and then the next 2 weeks after that it's Thursdays. Let me grab my little paper here. The 3rd, so that is definitely Wednesday. Sorry. It's been that kind of year, right? It's been that kind of year. Yay! Jane got her kit today. Awesome. Oh, okay, good, Kathy. Thank you for letting me know. They go on in an hour. All right, we'll try to keep it down. We'll try to keep it down over here to an hour, which we normally do anyway. Let's see. Did I know Sarah James is live right now? How can Sarah James be live right now? I'm on the Jesse James Beads channel. She can't be live if I'm live. I hope that's a mix-up. That's going to be kind of weird. Oh, goodness. I'm telling you, Mondays. So anyway, what I was saying was, so there's a question. I received all my Destination North Pole stuff. Do I need to do anything? You don't need to do anything other than make sure that you are part of the group. And that Facebook group is exclusive to those who are, there's Miss Sarah. It's exclusive to those who have signed up for the Destination North Pole. So that is where all of the classes will happen and all of the festivities will happen. Okay. And truth be told, I have not joined the group yet. I need to get off of here and go do that so that I can be a part of that too. I don't know why I hadn't signed in quite yet. So anyway, you guys, for those of you who are not doing Destination North Pole, it's still okay. There's lots of stuff, good stuff going on all week long and pretty much through the entire month of December, just because it's a super special month. Lots of fun things going on. So good, I'm glad. I was afraid that I like messed something up real bad. Okay, so let's see. What do we got going on? Well, it's Cyber Monday, you guys. Cyber Monday means there are lots of deals going on, and this is such a good one. Such a good one. Anytime you see 60% off, I mean, like my ears perk up immediately and I'm like, ooh, I gotta go. So for Cyber Prime right now until 8 p.m., yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 60% off of clearance. Don't walk, run. When we're done here, don't leave me. When we're done here, go to the website and take advantage. The code for that is Cyber 2020 Clear, right? Yeah, for like clearance. Cyber 2020 Clear. And of course, if you forget that coupon code, guys, it is on the website, so you will not miss it. You'll see it in the little banner going by. And you can click on shop and it will take you directly to the clearance section and all of the goodies that are included in that sale. It's a really, really good one. Really good one. I don't know why I'm whispering. It's a really good one. So take advantage, but that's only until 8 p.m. Eastern time. So keep an eye on the clock as well. Okay, so also things that have happened over on the website, which a lot of these things are not necessarily brand new, but they're still in my mind new, right? Is the holiday collection that dropped. The holiday collection, there are a bunch of mini mixes. They're absolutely amazing, super, super cute. We're going to use one of those today. We're actually going to use Let It Snow. I love this one. Love this one. So I love all of them, but this one, I've got a soft spot for that blue that is in here. So we're going to use Let It Snow today. We're going to put together an easy little bracelet and some matching earrings just because I'm feeling like we're extra. It's Monday and we need some extra. So we're going to do not one piece of jewelry, but 2 pieces of jewelry. These are both easy. You're all going to be able to put these together and enjoy this little mix. Don't forget to check out all of the other mixes. And while you're on the website, check on new. December 3rd is Thursday this week. That's right. That's right. So it's Thursday this week. It's Wednesday the next 2 weeks. I just keep getting it messed up. I'm glad you guys are paying attention as I am certainly having a hard time. So like I was saying, when you click on the new, there are other things, okay, over on the website that are new. There is that wood and metal flower pair that you guys remember from the Magnolia Magical Mystery Box, the one, those beads that I like went crazy for. Those are there. There's a gorgeous spiced orange silver silk kit. There's a feather pendant. There is a little boho set, some cup chain. There are more pieces from that Magnolia Magical Mystery Bead Box. I would stock up on those like immediately and grab those. There are some from the roller skates Magical Mystery Bead Box, and then all of the gorgeous strands. So there's a lot to take in on the website, okay? A lot. So when we're done here, go over to the website, spend some time, like browse a little bit. That's my favorite part of shopping, is like looking at everything. It's like, ooh, shiny. And then move on to something else, ooh, shiny. And take advantage of that 60% off. Okay, so without further ado, let's get down to it and make some jewelry, because I know that's why you're here. We're going to look at this mini mix and then we're going to put something together. So let's do it. I'll probably have to do a wiggle, but you guys will keep me in line. All right, so make some adjustments. Oh my gosh, the heat just kicked on in here and it is So hot. Hi, Janice. Do we need to wiggle, guys? Because I don't want to undo it unless I absolutely need to. So you're going to have to let me know. Excuse me. All right, so we've got Let It Snow. Can we just, for a second, wiggle? It needs a wiggle. Okay, hold on. All right, can't hear. How about now? Can you hear me now? Wiggle force. You got it. You just can't see it. I gave a little wiggle for you. All right, are we better now? I sure hope so. Yes, can hear you. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Love it. Okay, so here is a little mix. And what I was going to say is, can we just take a minute and look at the cards, like the little, what shall we call it? The artwork. That's what it is. The little artwork for all of these mini mixes. They are all like that. They're so cutie patootie with a little old red truck, that vintage red truck with the Christmas tree in the back and the snow. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Super cute. Okay, so we're going to dump this one out, and then we are going to get started. So let's take a look. There are even like deer on the back of this card. Like, it goes, the artwork goes all the way down. Super cute. So, all right, let's take a look inside. So one of the first things that pops out is always the mother of pearl beads that are in these little mini mixes, which I absolutely adore. Look at the snowmen. Love them. So these are custom for Jesse James Beach. You're not going to find these anywhere else. They have these little custom mother of pearl beads made up with artwork to go with each one of the little mixes. They're so stinking cute. We're going to use these for our earrings here in just a little while. Those are going to be kind of like right at the end because they're super easy peasy, but I couldn't do this project without including the little snowmen and the snowflakes as well. Look at these snowflakes. These are gorgeous. I love these. So I'm a huge fan of, I guess that's probably why I'm drawn to this one so much, is because I'm a huge fan of blue Christmas themed things, blues and silvers and whites. That's really, I really love it because you can take like that snow theme and wear it not just for Christmas, but like all through the winter. So a snowflake on a charm, a snowflake on an earring, even with a snowman, this is going to be wearable all the way through probably the end of February where I'm from, because it stays cold that long. It's not necessarily like Christmas, though it can be if you want it to be, obviously super festive, but I mean, I'm gonna wear my snowmen and my snowflakes. I'm gonna wear those past Christmas. Just saying. So that's not all that's in here. There are these gorgeous stars. Look at these charms. Those are so beautiful. I love those. There are these gorgeous blue beads that are in here. There are rhinestone spacers. There are bead caps. I think that might be part of what I love so much about this mix is all of the extra little doodads. I love the extra doodads, like the rhinestone spacers, and they come in 2 different sizes, and they're just so beautiful. It's just a nice little kind of glitzy pop to whatever you're working on. The same with the bead caps. Just a really cool addition. So we're going to utilize all of that in our bracelet today. We are going to, we're going to use the bead caps. We're going to use a little bit of everything in here. Okay. Even these beautiful blue beads, we're going to use these on our earrings. But I just wanted to give you guys kind of a look real quick before we get started. All of these beads, this shape very much reminds me of icicles. And of course, we're going to use these as well. Aren't they cool? They just look like little icicles. Wear them until the end of April, Shelly says, in Canada. I wish I was in Canada. I love cold weather, so. Oh, Jana says, darn, she should have put this in her order this morning. Well, you know, the day is young. You can go put in another order. We won't stop you. We will certainly enable you. Okay, so something that you might notice is that there are some things in here that already have a little simple loop on them. That is kind of an indication of where we are going with some things. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to pull out the beads that already have some of the loops, because I don't want to spend like a ton of time doing loops. I want to show you what we're going to do with them. We're going to make a really cool little cluster here. So I'm going to pull out the ones that already have the loops, and then we're going to put simple loops on the rest of them. So that's going to be these guys, these awesome, beautiful rondelles, and they have that, even though they're white, they still have that AB finish to them. Do you see that? They have that kind of flash of rainbow. So pretty. The glass pearls, and let's see, what am I missing here that I want to put a wire wrap on? Oh, there's that guy. So there's going to be 4 of the glass pearls. 2 of mine are done. 4 of the crystals are already done, the crystal rondelles. There's 6 of these guys. I've got 3 of them in my hand and 2 of the pearls. So that's what we're gonna start with. Okay, just kind of pulled out. So all of these have simple loops on them. I'm going to do the rest of these with simple loops as well, so that we have enough of these to make a really cool kind of cluster. So here are our beads, and oh my gosh, Lorena says she's driving and she has Jesse James beads on her dashboard live. Oh my gosh, just be careful. Don't get distracted by the shiny, pretty beads, okay? Please be safe. But yeah, that is super cool. All right, so what we're going to use for these is just some simple head pins. I'm not going to make knotted head pins or anything like that. We're just going to use what we already have. And guys, if you need to stock up on findings and supplies like that, there are clasps, there's wire, not just beads over on the website. There's a ton of stuff. So if you need to stock up on supplies, do that while you're there. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm just going to put all of these, and I'm going to do these all at the same time because I'm a weirdo like that, but you certainly can do these one at a time. I'm just going to go ahead and thread each one of these. The light is really dark for some reason. Oh, now that's a little brighter. Interesting. Okay. I'll go with that. That really brightened things up. All right, so putting all of these on head pins. Snowing in Jasper, Georgia. I want it to really, really snow. Like, not just this pretend it's raining and then it's snowing for a minute. I want like some real snow. Okay, so now we're just going to do simple loops on these. We are not going to be doing wrapped loops. Now, if you want to do a wrapped loop, you absolutely can, but we're keeping it just kind of easy peasy with this. So we're just going to do simple. So what I like to do is I like to use my pliers to make that first bend in the wire. Now, normally with a wrapped loop, we would hold the wire just like this, and then we would bend the wire over the top of the pliers. But doing just a simple loop, we don't want to do that. So Joan says she's staying home tomorrow. Heard that that's supposed to be the bad day. Well, I live in the same place as Joan does, everyone. So hopefully it'll snow. Hopefully the weather will be bad and I can drink some hot chocolate and use a blanket. So anyway, instead of using my fingers, you know, to push the wire down, I use my pliers to kind of bite at the wire until I get it bent like that. And you can see there's still a little tiny bit of room in between there, but it's really hard to get that bend just flush up against your bead. So don't stress over the small things like that, okay? So now I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and I'm going to trim off some of the wire. I only need about 1/4 of an inch of the wire to use my round nose pliers to make a simple loop with. Okay, so you don't need to trim off a whole lot of this. Well, I mean, you want to leave yourself. I don't know what I was trying to say. 1/4 of an inch, okay? I'm just trying to make things more complicated here. All right, so I've trimmed that off. Now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab the very tip of that wire and I'm going to roll back towards the bead. And again, I do a rocking motion. I don't do it all at once in one smooth motion. I do it in kind of a rocking back and forth to create that little closed loop, okay? So I'm going to add this one to the pile. Remember, these guys over here, they already have those loops. We're just working on these guys so that we don't have to spend a ton of time putting wrapped or simple loops on these. So again, I hold the wire with my pliers. You don't have to do it this way if you don't want to. I just feel like I have better leverage when I use the pliers to do the work for me, right? And I just kind of bite down until I bite it into that shape. Okay, that's exactly what I'm looking for. You'll come in again with your cutter tool and trim off, leaving yourself about 1/4 of an inch. And again with the round nose pliers, and you just want to kind of roll back to create a simple loop. Okay. All right, now we're going to do the little rondelles. So we're going to do the same thing with them. I find this trick using the pliers much easier when I'm doing smaller beads. With a larger bead, you can really kind of hold it with your fingers and then bend the wire, and you don't have to use the tool. But sometimes when you're using a smaller bead, using the pliers to make that bend is just so much easier. Okay. Now coming in with the round nose pliers and rocking back to create that simple loop. Now I want to mention, because I've told you guys this before, you guys know I'm never ashamed to tell you that my simple loops are not the prettiest loops in the whole world. That's why I usually do a wrapped loop, just because I feel like I do a better job, and that sometimes my simple loops can be a little wonky. In this project in particular, if you have the same problem that I do and your wrapped or your simple loops are not super pretty, it's okay, because nobody's going to see them. We're going to make a little cluster out of them and nobody will ever know. So I love projects where I can kind of hide the things that I'm not super confident about, right? So again, grabbing the wire, rolling back. Hi, Sue. And there's my simple loop, and we've got one more to go. And all in all, we have quite a large, oh, whoops, we have quite a large pile of beads here. Okay. Again, gonna come in and trim off, and there we go. Okay, so we have all of our beads ready, and we're going to create a little cluster out of these. So what we need next is a piece of 22 gauge wire, and you're probably going to need about 4 inches of this. Hi, Vicki. How you doing? All right, so we are going to do a wrapped loop on one end. So I'm going to come down on the wire about 1.5 inches, an inch, somewhere around there. Okay, grab the wire. I'm going to bend the wire to make this kind of backwards 7 shape. Now this is 22 gauge wire. I'm using German style wire in silver. You can grab this over on the website. If you prefer artistic wire, you certainly can use it instead, but German style is my go-to. And you also can use 20 gauge instead of the 22. Again, just personal preference. All right, so now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, grabbing the wire. I'm going to guide the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers, roll the pliers out of the way so I can take that wire on over to the other side. So when I take them off of the pliers, this is what we've got. I'm going to use that short section to create about 3 wire wraps underneath that loop. Okay, so we've got a wrapped loop, and now I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off that tail because we do not need that. All right, now from the mix are these little rhinestone beads. I'm going to thread one of these on. I love these because they're so sparkly. They really, really shine when the light catches them. They're absolutely beautiful. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to thread on kind of alternating, but not really with a pattern. I just want to thread all of these beads on, okay? So I'm just going to thread the loops on and then just kind of let them fall. Remembering that with the little white rhinestones, I actually have more of those. So So this used to be one of my go-to kind of design techniques that I used all the time. I haven't done it in such a long time and I had forgotten about it. So I was excited to remember how much I used to love doing this. You can do this in large sections or in short sections, and it always turns out just so cool, because now when you push all those beads down together, look at that beautiful cluster that you have. It's so, so pretty. You can do this with all of the same beads. You can do this with beads of different shapes, different sizes, obviously, like we've done here. It looks beautiful no matter what you do this with. And then you can turn it into a pendant, hang something from the bottom of it. You can make just an earring out of it, add an earring. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And imagine doing this in huge sections. So I used to do this in like a 6-inch section and then make that the front of a necklace, or you can do an entire bracelet. The only problem is that it does take a while to do all of those simple loops on your beads, right? You have to be patient. This is not instant gratification if you're wanting to do a large section of this. That's why I'm just keeping it kind of small for our bracelet. But I did want to show it to you because I used to love doing this and I want to do it some more just because the results are so beautiful. So we're going to keep it little. I'm going to thread on another one of those rhinestone beads and kind of push that down. And I'm going to do another wrapped loop to kind of hold everything in place. And this is going to be kind of the center of our bracelet. But could you imagine like doing clusters of these and then linking them together with jump rings? There are so many different possibilities with just such a simple little thing. I mean, that's not hard. All you have to do is just, have the patience to do the simple loops. All right, so I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers, grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead. And I'm going to bend the wire over the top because since we're doing a wrapped loop, we do need that little space in between there. Okay, I'm going to bring in the round nose pliers. I'm going to guide the wire up and over. Roll the pliers out of the way, take the wire on over to the other side, and then do the wire wraps. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in with my cutter tool and trim that off. All right, so now we have this cute little cluster, and I'm serious, the design possibilities with just learning how to make a little cluster are endless. You can do so many things with a little cluster of beads or a big cluster of beads, right? And ours is kind of, all over the place because we have different sizes and different shapes and different amounts of the beads. But if you want a more uniform look, you could do this with all the glass pearls or all of the crystal rondelles, right? So, all right, there's our little centerpiece, just a little bling. And now I'm going to kind of build outwards. So what I want next is some dangles because you guys know how I am. I got to have some dangles. So I want to have these little kind of icicles that are going to dangle on either side here. So I'm using this small little cone shaped beads, and some of them I have already wire wrapped and put 4mm jump rings on. These little guys that are going to go with them, I need to do those. So there are 2 of those. And I'm going to put those on on head pins as well. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down on a head pin. And with these, I use smaller head pins. You can see it's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to do wrapped loops. Kind of mixing up all of the wire here. And always you can do simple loops instead of the this is not the eye pin I wanted to use. Hold on. This is a little bit bigger. Oh, and now I bent it. I can't get the bead off of there. Hold on just a second. Anywhere I do a wrapped loop, you certainly can do just a simple loop instead. I do caution though that you pay attention to your bead hole, right, and the size of your head pins. These are a little bit smaller of a bead, and so I want to use a less bulky size head pin. Okay, so again, going to do the wrapped loop, grabbing the wire right where it's exiting the bead, bending the wire, coming in with the round nose pliers, up and over. Uh-oh, Jane's laughing about something. What did I miss? All right, there is the wrapped loop. Wendy says, is JJB on here today? Yeah, Sarah's here. Or at least she was just a second ago. I think she's still here. Okay, just another wrapped loop. We're going to do a couple more wrapped loops today, so this is not going to be the end of the wrapped loops for us, which is usually the case with me. You guys know I'm a wire person. All right, so sorry about that focus. It took a second. Oh, she had stepped away for a second to share to the groups. All right, so I'm just going to trim off. Oh, that one went flying. Okay, so these guys are going to hang on either side of this guy, but we got to kind of build out because I don't have anything to attach these to just yet. So I'm going to take some more of my 22 gauge wire. I've just cut some small sections here so that we can make some more beaded links. And this is where we're really going to utilize those beautiful, Colleen's been playing in the snow. That doesn't surprise me. I'm going to utilize the bead caps that are in this mix. So we're going to take each one of our little pieces of wire here and begin with a wrapped loop on one end. Okay, now if you don't want to do this part, you don't want to cut your wires yourself and do your own wrapped loops, you certainly can use eye pins for this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Okay, so don't feel like you have to do things exactly the way that I did. So there's Karen says, what is a good gauge for eye pins for someone who struggles with arthritis? So I'm going to say the 22 and the 24. Now the 24 gauge is going to be a little bit thinner, right? But it is a lot softer. And so you might find that you don't have nearly the issues with it. It's just a smaller wire. And I don't use a whole lot, but I have gotten in the habit of using it more. So that would probably be a good place to start, would be with a 24 gauge. I wouldn't go any smaller than that though. And then if you're really struggling, I would probably try artistic wire because it is a dead soft wire. So that might help as well. All right, so here is our wrapped loop. I'm going to thread on, excuse me, one of these gorgeous bead caps. And I'm going to thread on one of these rondelles and another bead cap on the other end. Okay, so that's going to be our next little beaded section. We need to do 2 of these, one for each side. So I'm going to kind of zip through these a little bit. Okay, round nose pliers, up and over. All right, so there's that. Look how pretty. Just the addition, excuse me, something tickling my throat. Just the addition of the bead cap changes everything up. It's just like bringing that beautiful metal further into the design so that the ends of each one of these head pins that we used makes more sense visually, right? When we add these extra pops of the metal, really kind of just ties everything together. And guys, 9 times out of 10 in the little mini mixes that you get from Jesse James Beads, and I'd actually probably go as far to say 100% of the time, so 10 times out of 10, you're going to get extra beautiful components, right? In your little mini mixes, you're going to get your rhinestones, maybe not a rhinestone spacer, that might not be the best example, but you're going to get spacers, you're going to get bead caps, you're going to get little metal elements that really help to tie everything together, right? And that's the goal. So you've got everything you need to create something absolutely beautiful. And yeah, you could do it without the metal if you wanted to, but you've got it, so why not use it, right? I mean, it's beautiful, it's there, it all matches, it goes together really well. So again, I'm just recreating this one so that we can have one to go on the other side. The snowflakes are getting bigger. Guys, I wish I had my window open. Not like open, but I wish I had my blinds open so I could see. I feel like I'm missing out on the scenery. And here in East Tennessee, by the time we're done with our live, it'll all be gone. It will all have melted and it'll be 96 degrees outside because that's just the way it is here. If you want to see beautiful snowy weather, you got to look real quick and don't blink because it's gone. All right, so there's our other little beaded section. We are weather people. Is that even what she said? When are the weather people right around here? That's what she said. I thought she said we are weather people. Like, we talk about weather a lot in these lives, which we actually do when you think about it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're kind of building out, right? So we're going to do another little bead on either side. So again, we're just doing our same little motions, making ourselves a little backward 7 so that we can come in with the round nose pliers to make a wrapped loop. Okay. All right, now I'm going to use a different one of the bead caps. Look at this one. This one looks like a flower, so really, really pretty. I'm going to pop that guy on there. I'm going to go with one of this a little bit smaller, not by much, but a little bit smaller rondelle. We'll put another one on the other end. Okay, just that extra little pop of metal just changes everything so much. Okay. There's that. Super pretty. All right, so there's one of those for over here, and then we're going to do another one for the other side, so we're just repeating. Okay. Nothing super hard here, just pretty. Beautiful jewelry doesn't have to be hard. I bet I've said that 100 times this year, but it's the truth. Doesn't always have to be a representation of every skill, you know, right? Took me a long time to learn that. I know you guys have probably heard me say that a lot, but I feel like we have some new people here, so it definitely bears repeating because I struggled with that for years when I very first started making jewelry. I felt like every single piece of jewelry that I made needed to be a representation of every single skill, you know, that I knew, and you just don't have to overthink it that way. Sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes less is more. I know that goes against everything I say, but sometimes less is more. And when it comes to techniques, it doesn't have to be super difficult to have beautiful results. You know, if the only thing you ever learn is just how to do a wrapped loop, you are way ahead of the game and you've opened up the world immensely for jewelry design. And that's just one technique, right? You don't have to show off every single skill you know in one piece of jewelry. All right, so we're getting pretty close. If you had a small wrist, you could probably get away with not needing another bead for this, but I do want to add one more just because I feel like it is a little short. Now, that being said, I'm going to use these little check glass beads. There are enough of the little check glass beads that if you wanted to add extra, like if you wanted to do 2 on either end, you could. So you can adjust the length of this bracelet that way, or you can adjust the length of this bracelet with your jump rings. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to add 2 more beads. I'm not going to do bead caps or anything to these. I'm just going to keep these kind of plain and simple just to finish out the ends of our bracelet, I'm going to add one of those beautiful stars to the clasp area. And guys, speaking of clasps, I'm actually going to use a really beautiful toggle clasp that you can grab over on the Jessie James Bead oh my gosh, my brain and my mouth get together now. Over on the Jessie James Beads website, it's a little toggle set. I think there are 4 that come in the set. I'll show them to you when we get to that point, but it's just like I was mentioning earlier, if you need findings and other components other than beads while you are bead shopping, you can always grab those little extra things, the extra little finishing touches. Joan says she's picturing this more like a necklace. It would be a gorgeous necklace. It absolutely would be a gorgeous necklace. So that's a good idea. That being said, if you wanted to do this as a necklace instead of a bracelet, I just chose a bracelet because we don't make a lot of bracelets during our lives. I don't know why, we just don't. But you certainly could link all this together and then put some chain reaction on it. Oh, that would be so, so pretty. So yeah, this could be an either or kind of design. That would be really pretty. Thank you for that, Joan, my dear friend. So I'm not really walking you guys through the wrapped loops at this point because I feel like we've done so many of them today that like you kind of know what I'm doing. So just kind of follow along. But just doing wrapped loops on this guy on either end. These little check glass beads. It's that kind of moonstone color that we talked about. Not in today's live, but in last week's live we talked about that kind of moonstone color a couple of times actually. Really, really in love with that color this time of year. And I don't know that it's necessarily a color, but it's certainly a color in the bead world. All right, so we've got all of our pieces. Now we are ready to kind of assemble everything. And so my assembly for this is, I don't know why why I did it this way. You can do this however you want to, okay? You could just attach them all directly to each other. Let me grab some more jump rings because I feel like I don't have enough over here. You could have directly connected all of these together and not... I have lost my 4mm jump rings. Come on, where are you at? What is happening in my life right now? Okay, here they are. It's a mess on my desk. So what I was going to say was you absolutely could have connected all of these together just by wire wrapping them together and not using any jump rings in between here. But I do want to use some jump rings to connect all of the sections together. And so I'm going to use, I believe, I'm going to use 6mm jump rings right here on either side. And then the rest of them I used 4. I don't know why, I just did. You totally can use whatever size jump rings you want to. I don't know why I mixed it up that way. All right, so I'm threading on a 6mm jump ring. And I'm going to thread on these little dangles that we have added here. So one of them is just a wrapped loop, right? And then one of them is a wrapped loop with a 4mm jump ring on it so that they kind of hang in a tiered kind of way instead of right next to each other and kind of crowding each other out. I have ones a little bit longer than the other. That's just personal preference. You can totally change that. It's up to you. I'm going to thread on the next bead and then I'm going to close the jump ring back and I'm going to repeat that section, that same thing, not necessarily a section, but I'm going to repeat that process over here on the other side. So I'm going to open up a 6mm jump ring. Okay, I'm going to attach my little icicle beads and then the next bead in the bracelet and close that back. Okay, so those little guys are going to kind of hang like charms, right? but they're not really, really long. So they're not like, you don't have to worry that you're going to get them caught on anything or anything like that. Now for the rest of the bracelet, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I used 4mm jump rings to connect the rest of the beads. I don't know. You can use 6mm. I honestly have no idea why I made that choice, but I'm going to stick with it because for whatever reason, that's the way I did it the first time. So just using a smaller 4mm jump ring here. Really starting to question my my design choices. I made this on Saturday, so it's been a minute since I made this. So I just connected those beads with a 4mm jump ring. I'm going to do the same thing over here on the other side, and then I'm going to show you that toggle clasp that I was talking about. Okay, so there's that one, and then that one. Close those back. And don't forget, we're going to put together some quick earrings real quick when we get finished here. Real quick. Yes, it is Monday. I'm only going to make one of them since we've been here for a while. And I don't want to go over the top of Silver Silk, who I believe has Facebook Live next. So I'm going to just do one of the earrings. But you guys know you can just follow the steps to create the mate. So this is the toggle. It comes in a set of more than one. It's either 3 or 4, I believe, in the little toggle pack that you can get on the website. It's just so pretty. Just a nice little finishing touch. I love to add extra, you know, bling when it comes to bracelets. Clasps are a great way to do that, to kind of, you know, have that design all the way through. So remember all of the pops of the metal that we added to each one of the beads? This is a great way to kind of bring all that together. Yes, you can go with just a standard lobster clasp, which is what I normally put on my necklaces. I use those all the time. But why do that when you can remember? That's my problem, is just to remember that there are so many beautiful clasps to choose from over on the Jessie James Beads website. With my toggles, a lot of times I use 2, at least on the bar portion, I will use 2 4mm jump rings just so that I have a little extra wiggle room with this, getting it through the ring portion. That's just a little trick that I've learned. I don't know that it's necessary all of the time, but sometimes if you struggle with a toggle, just adding an extra jump ring to it makes it much easier to get on and off when you are kind of struggling with it. So I'm just going to attach the ring end on one end, and then I'm going to attach the bar to the other end. And since there are already 2 jump rings here, I'm going to just open this one up and attach. And there you go. So got a beautiful little bracelet here. Might be a little bit small. If it is a little small, you can add to this, guys. You can add jump rings to this to add length. You can add an extra bead on either end to add length if you want to. A lot of different ways that you can kind of adjust it if you need to add anything. If you wanted to do a standard clasp and do a an extension chain, you absolutely can do that as well. A lot of times if I'm making jewelry for somebody and I don't know exactly what size bracelet they need, I'll add an extension chain to it and then they can kind of adjust it themselves. But then I also like the idea that Joan had about turning it into a necklace. So just having it exactly like it is, but instead of putting a toggle on either end and wearing it as a bracelet, you could add your chain reaction to this and it would make a beautiful center piece to a really beautiful kind of wintertime snow feeling necklace that honestly you could get away wearing this as a bracelet or as a necklace all the way through spring, because there are so many beautiful white flowers in the early spring. Somebody asked what gauge wire. So normally for me, the wrapped loops that I use, 9 times out of 10, I go with a 22 gauge German style wire. But that's just personal preference. A lot of the things that I do, you can interchangeably use 20 gauge if you are more comfortable using the 20 gauge. If those are too big, you can go with a 24. Just be mindful that it is a smaller gauge wire, so you have to take into consideration the holes of your beads at that point when you go a little bit smaller. But 22 is always my recommendation. Okay, so we've got a bracelet. Let's put together an earring just really, really quickly. Like, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time, but I can't not use these little snowmen because they're just so stinking cute. So I want to put together a little snowman earring to go with this. So we're going to use one of the little rhinestone spacers, one of these beautiful blue rondelles, and then we're going to put just one of these snowflakes at the bottom. But because I'm extra, you guys know how I am with extra dangles. Oh my gosh, I forgot to add the star to the bracelet. We'll do that here in just a second too. So I also want to put one of these little cone beads in front of our icicles so that when I'm wearing them and they move around, you get that kind of icy extra movement. You can leave that out. You don't have to do that part if you don't want to, but I'm just, you guys know, I gotta have lots of movement in my pieces. So without further ado, let's just do a wrapped loop on this guy and put it together. All right. So for those of you who were a little late, and that's totally okay, you can always watch the replay, but this was the Let It Snow mini mix from Jesse James Beads holiday collection. And if you love this one, you're going to love the others as well, because there is a holiday mini mix that is for every personality. Like, whether you like traditional red and green, whether you're more of a blue and white kind of Christmas person, or you know, just snow. There's, let's see, what were some of the other ones? Have like some darker greens. So if you're not into like Christmas green and red, you can go with like a more evergreen green. You'll have to check them out. They're absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to do a wrapped loop just real quick and put this little guy together. Okay, and I do kind of a large loop because I want to thread this on and then my snowflake, so that that's going to hang right in front of the snowflake. Don't have to do that. Okay, I'm going to grab that loop with my bent chain nose pliers, just because I find that it's easier to hold on and really kind of get my fingers in there to do the wraps. Trim that off. So now that is attached. We're going to thread on our beautiful little snowman, one of the rhinestone spacers. Off that crystal, if that crystal represents an icicle, wouldn't you do it the other way? Yeah, you probably would. Thank you for catching that. Yeah, you probably would, but I didn't think that far through. I'm gonna pop one of those beautiful blue beads right on the top, and I'm going to create a wrapped loop, and we'll just add an ear wire to this. And that's just kind of easy peasy quick for an earring. You really could, I mean, you could do whatever kind of, you know, fancy earring that you wanted to do. Actually, let's just do a simple loop here since we don't have a lot of wire. So I'm just going to trim off, leave myself about 1/4 of an inch, and then use my round nose pliers to just create a simple loop there, and then we can put our ear wire on. Just kind of twisting, because I need that loop down here on the bottom, I need it to be facing this direction so that my charms will hang the right way. But then I need this loop on the top up here to be facing me, so that I can add my ear wire and everything will be hanging in the right direction. Whoa. I think these are super, super cute. And again, you don't have to add the little icicle to it if you don't want to. I just thought it was an extra kind of bling. You guys know I gotta have that extra little something to catch the light. That's just kind of the way that I am with things. I always go a little extra, but you don't have to add that guy if you don't want to. He looks really cute with just the snowflake, but I just couldn't help myself. So super cute little earrings to go with your bracelet. And guys, I totally forgot I wanted to add this star to the bracelet. So I'm gonna do that really, really quickly, and then I'll turn you guys around and try on the earrings so you can see it. These super cute little star charms, these would look beautiful with an ear wire, and that's it. Like something just simple and beautiful. Like if you needed a quick pair of earrings to go with your bracelet, if you were gonna give this as a gift, that would be like the perfect way to use these little stars. But because I'm all about charms and jangly jewelry, I like to add mine. Gonna add mine to that extra jump ring I have down here. Just a little extra something, right? So now I've got a little star charm right at my clasp, which is just kind of a pretty little extra element. All of those little extra flourishes, you guys, those are just design choices for me personally. You don't ever have to do those things. I'm just one of those people. I don't have to explain myself. You guys know. All right, let me turn you guys around. I'll probably have to give the wire a little wiggle. Hold on. All right. And adjust the lights so that I don't blind you with my face here. All right, hold on everybody. Let me know how it sounds. Uh-oh. So sparkly. I know, I love sparkle. I love sparkle. So here are the earrings, guys. These are just so cute and fun, right? How cute is that? That's a super cute, oh, no sound. Need to wiggle it again. Are we better? Let me know. You guys are so used to it by now. But look how cute that is. So much fun. Now this is an earring that I can wear all the way through the cold months. Doesn't just have to be a, you know, a holiday earring. It's just super cute and fun and whimsical. We don't take ourselves very seriously here, right? We like to be fun and lighthearted, and there's nothing like a snowman to do that. And as far as I'm concerned, snowflakes are beautiful. I wish we could wear snowflakes all year, or that I lived in a place where I could wear them all year. That would be awesome. But maybe one day. You never know. Never know. Sound is good? Good. I'm so glad. So here's our bracelet. This is part of the reason we don't do a lot of bracelets, is just because it's so hard to like show off a bracelet once we turn around. I feel like necklaces are so much easier to kind of like show off, but you guys know. All right. So I got a can of air. Colleen says, I'm buying you a can of air for Christmas. I got a can. I don't know where I did it, but I tried the can of air, which is just the funniest thing in the whole world to me, that you can buy air in a can. But I tried it and it didn't work. It has to be the iPad, because I've been through the microphone. So anyway. All right, guys, that is it for me today, but that is not the end of it for me this week. You guys know Destination North Pole is starting this week on Thursday, and I will be teaching at 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. Those are all Eastern times, so set your reminders. If you are part of Destination North Pole, you don't want to miss out. I've got 3 great projects. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a day full of technique. Right? We're going to start off with some simple stringing. We're going to do some looming, and we're going to finish off the night with, what is our last project for that day? Some more wire wrapping. So you're getting a little bit of everything on Thursday if you're coming to do that. Maybe it's the wrong kind of air. Is that a thing? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh gosh. So I'm ready to teach. Awesome. I'm ready to get lots of snacks. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be pumping in the snacks. Yeah. And so speaking of the Wednesday live, Neelay Patel is going to be live here on Wednesday at 1 p.m. So normally I'm here on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. with a project for you guys. But since I'm teaching all day on Thursday, excuse me, I'm already losing my voice and Thursday isn't even here yet. kind of has a lot. So Sarah was gracious enough to say, yes, let's put Nile on Wednesday so that you're not like doing, 4 lives in a row, just bam, bam, bam. So much appreciated. You guys are going to enjoy it. Nile is always a blast, and he always does the most amazing thing. So I can't wait to see that. So set your reminders. Don't forget, there's still a Facebook Live on Wednesday. It just won't be me. You'll get to see Nile, who is much prettier to look at than I am. And don't forget to use the 60% off coupon code over on the Jesse James Beads website. That is only good until 8 p.m. Eastern time, so take advantage of that. All right, that is it for me, you guys. I will see some of you, a lot of you little elves, on Thursday for our Destination North Pole. If not, you can catch me same time, same place right here next Monday with another fun project.